Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Chi Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. You're looking at my ultimate chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that's the second batch. First batch is on the cooling rack over there, getting cooled off. And these are the gooey type. Let's see if I can get one up without breaking it. Not that way, I won't. But anyway, yep, there we go. Nice and soft and gooey. So those are ready to go on the rack and finish cooling. And then I'll put them in a Tupperware. And I'll have chocolate chip cookies for the next week or so. I call these my ultimates because besides the regular using butter and the milk and vanilla extract and egg and all of that stuff, I also add a tablespoon of white vinegar to the mix. And you go, white vinegar? What are you doing putting vinegar in cookies? Trust me, the vinegar actually enhances the sweetness of everything else that you put in to the cookie. So it makes them super chewy and sweet, and they're just totally addicting. So I make them bigger than what most people do because I like a big cookie for breaking it in half and dipping it in my tea or something like that. Speaking of what, I just had a dose of ginger tea and just finished feeding the dogs outside. And as of yesterday afternoon, somewhere just past noontime, all I've had here is Doggy Daddy, and the new girl, I gave her a name today. See how she's coming up to me now? And she's getting used to me, and her name is Susie Q. Right, Susie Q? They like to get their heads scratched. And she's just a pup. She's not very old. They left some food on the table, but they do that all the time in case the other dogs come back. And then if they don't, these guys will go over and clean it up. Besides that, I was out here. I ran the Tokuzi filter for the day. We got a few monsoonal clouds building in the area, but no threat of rain for here. And I think my knee's feeling a little bit better this morning, but I think tomorrow I'm going to attempt to take the cover off the Tokuzi, let the sun warm it up, and then later in the day I'm going to get in there and soak for a while. See if that helps a little bit more. As far as the flies go, I've been working on them. I got them down to, well, nothing's an acceptable level, but there's a couple of them hanging around the door here, but not like it used to be where I'd go outside and there'd be 50 of them on the screen. So I noticed there was a bunch of them in this corner today, so I hung another fly tape there. And that fly tape, I think a bird got hooked on it on the clothesline and tore it off. So, and what can I say? Now, I just put that one on probably 2 hours ago. And it looks like it's got over 100 flies on it now. And there's the torn off piece from the rest of that one. And the reason that's all the hoses off of the thing is because apparently with the dogs wanting to get into this hole, they broke off that connection right there to the laundry drain. And that laundry drain runs in that garden hose all the way across and out to the outhouse. So I drain the laundry into the base of the outhouse, and then I add Rid-X in there. Rid-X needs the moisture, and that breaks down the solid waste and the paper and all of that that's inside of there. So I've been going now since since 2017. So this is 2023, so that's 6 years on that same outhouse hole, and it's not even half full yet. So what I'm doing is working. So I did go out and take care of the chickens today, and I went out and watered the garden, and I got to get how nice my elderberry, my mulberry tree is doing over there. And really, the rains here, everything, the desert's green. All the bushes are really green. So they like that. And so what I was going to say was, in the garden today, I got to get ready over there, bring some chicken poop down, and I got some that's been sitting and composting for a year, and I'm going to mix that into one of the raised bed boxes against the far wall where I grew potatoes last year. And I'm going to mix in some straw and poop from the chicken coop, and I've got some wood shavings. I'll mix some of that in, and I've got some eggshell and coffee grounds, and I'll mix that in, and then I'll churn it all up with my rototiller, my electric rototiller, and let it settle for just about a week. And then I've got a sprouted sweet potato. And yes, this is the time for, this is zone 8. So for zone 8, August and September is the time to plant spring harvest potatoes. So I've got my russets in out there, and they're doing really well. I'll show you the whole thing when I plant the sweet potatoes. And the thing here with sweet potatoes is, if you are going to grow sweet potatoes, I learned this the hard way when I lived down in Orange County, is that don't plant them in your regular garden with everything else. Why? Well, they are very prolific and they take over everything. It's like ivy on a house. You plant a little ivy bush on your house, you go, oh, that's so pretty. And then you come back 6 years later and you can't even see the house. It's completely covered with ivy. Well, sweet potatoes do the same thing in a garden. Now, you plant them in the garden, and all you have to do is leave the slightest little chip of any part of the tuber in the ground, and that will start a whole new batch of sweet potatoes. And you won't be able to plant anything else in that garden because the sweet potatoes take over the whole thing. So I plant them in a separate box all by themselves, so that when the box is full, then I take everything out of there. If anything's left behind, it sprouts for a new set for the next batch to go through. And I can rototill it with some of the pieces of the root and tube still in the bottom, and rototill it all up, add my nutrients, whatever I want to add to it, and then just wait, and in a week or two I'll see sweet potatoes sprouting out of it. So I do like my sweet potatoes, and I will definitely get those in there. My apples and pears are looking good. Everything else is, the grapes are done for the year. They still have leaves on them because the weather is still nice, but all of that will be falling off pretty soon, and then everything will go dormant. Well, that's about it, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget your thumbs ups. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Any questions, comments, anything like that, leave them down below for me. I get back to you pretty quickly. Anybody who's subscribed to my channel for any period of time knows that if you leave me a comment or question, you get an answer quickly. So thanks for joining me. This is G Bear signing off.